Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Friday, the 20th day of June 2025. Happy Friday to you. I hope you enjoyed your Juneteenth, which was yesterday. Happy Juneteenth, belated Juneteenth. If you had the day off, hope you, like I did, my wife did, hopefully you enjoyed that little break toward the end of the week. And now, happy Friday to you. I hope you are safe and healthy, and that your family is safe and healthy, and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field, along with the first responders who every day are trying their best to save lives. Those also that pick up garbage, keep our places clean, and those that make deliveries for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women that are out here trying to help, rescue, deliver, and recover teenagers and children that are the victims of child molestation and pedophilia. Helping those that are victims of prostitution and child prostitution, pornography, child pornography, human trafficking, and sex slavery. Double curses on all the perpetrators of these things. Double curses on those that make profits from these things. And double curses on all the perverts that create the demands that cause these things to exist. Finally, double blessings on the homeless. More than 700,000 men, women, children, families, senior citizens, and veterans homeless in the United States of America, and millions around the world in similar or worse conditions. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. Today I want to discuss Josh Hart and his importance to the New York Knicks, no matter who the head coach is going to be. By the way, today being Friday the 20th, I expect the Knicks to be naming a head coach very shortly. I would not be surprised if they named one between today, Friday, and Monday, because the sooner, the better. They've gotten actually their candidates narrowed down to basically Mike Brown and Taylor Jenkins. They had Mike Brown in for an interview yesterday on Juneteenth. They had Taylor Jenkins in earlier this week. So I don't think they want to prolong this. I don't think they want to keep it out there. They do want to take their time, but I think getting to the point of having these two candidates is a result of their due diligence process and taking their time. Also, I like looking back. Again, most people are instantly negative toward the Knicks. And then a lot of other people, I totally disrespect people that listen to negativity about the Knicks and then regurgitate it on my channel. Some of y'all can't help yourself. You're just mentally off. And so you do it. And you catch the wrath when you do. So keep doing it and keep catching the wrath. Some of you get just booted off the channel because of that. But when the Knicks contacted, say, Billy Donovan or Ime Udoka or Jason Kidd or Quinn Snyder about their head coaching vacancy, and they were rebuffed by each of these teams. At least in two cases, the case of Ime Udoka and Quinn Snyder, what you noticed after is an extension being offered to them. Now, why is that important? Before we even talk about Josh Hart, why is that important? What the Knicks did is they went after the best coaches they found in the NBA. And the pressure was on the team to keep that coach. So in other words, let's think of it as you. You're Ime Udoka. You came from a bad situation that you created in Boston. You came to Houston and you finished second in the West. And you have an upward trajectory because of the combination of young people, veterans on your team. You got toughness in Houston. You're on an upward trajectory. So now let's say you got a contract. Let's say your contract, I don't know, let's say your contract is 3 years and you're getting $5 million a year. A lot of money, right? But then here come the Knicks and they're asking permission to talk to you. Okay? Now, you're Ime Udoka and you tell your boss, listen, man, the Knicks can make me an intriguing offer, like an offer much more than $5 million per year. You know, I may want to deal with that. And your boss would say, if they want you, they're going to say, Ime, we're doing so good here in Houston. You guys are on an upward trajectory. We got you to a contract. And he's like, I know, but this is business. So now Houston has to do one of two things. They either give permission to the Knicks to talk to their head coach, or they make their head coach happy and say, listen, okay, what if we extend you? Another 3 years guaranteed at double the money. You may say, okay, we could do that. That's what you would do. right? And so now the Knicks have put pressure on the teams with these coaches to say, either you pay these dudes or we gonna pay them. And you're talking about Udoka. You're talking about Jason Kidd, who also can get an extension. You're talking about Billy Donovan. Guys that may have even, like Donovan's case, he might have even been on the hot seat. Not no more. And so the teams had to either put up or shut up to keep their coaches. That was a smart move by the Knicks. So it puts pressure on their opponents to say, we got to put up more money to keep our coaches. Okay? And so that's the story. And then once that was accomplished, in other words, they went through Udoka, Kidd, Donovan. They went through Snyder. And it was all of those teams rebuffed them. And, the media wants to be negative. Knicks don't know what they're doing. No, they know exactly what they're doing. They put pressure on the other team to say, either you're going to lose your coach and we'll pay him, or you're going to pay him. I'm sure each of those coaches are very happy with that. And that's why the door is not completely closed to Jason Kidd. I ain't heard an extension yet. Kidd ain't stupid. See? So either Kidd decides, okay, listen, I'm going to take a close look at the Knicks because they offer more money. Or he decides, okay, I'm happy in Dallas. I'm going to get Cooper Flag. We got Kyrie eventually coming back. We got Anthony Ambulance. We're gonna work around that, okay? Derek Lively, the whole nine, right? Okay, but see, the Knicks have made their move. And I love that. Just like they did when they got Jalen Brunson. They hired Rick Brunson first. Then they went to the Dallas game where their whole brass was there. Letting everybody know, we coming after you, dude. We coming after you, dude. They got tampering charges, second round pick. It was worth it, though. I think it was worth it. I like the way the Don does business. Again, what many of you do not understand because you're being brainwashed by watered down content on large platforms. The Knicks play chess. That means they're thinking 3 moves ahead. When you start to look at the Knicks and you listen to some of these idiots, you should understand that. You must the first premise is not to doubt what they're doing and to understand what are the moves they're making ahead of what's going on now. Okay? Because that way you have an understanding, at least partially, of what they might do. So that was a brilliant move by the Don and Worldwide West in them. They put pressure on Houston, pressure on Dallas, pressure on Chicago, pressure on Atlanta to say, we want to keep our coach, Quinn Snyder, Ime Udoka, Billy Donovan, Jason Kidd. We want to keep our guys. And they say, okay. Because if they were to hire Taylor Jenkins, he's a great coach. I have no problem with Taylor Jenkins. Okay? But what they did is they shook the trees on other great coaches. And they forced the team to decide, okay, I got to pay this guy to keep him. Or I got to let the Knicks talk to him. And if the Knicks get a chance to talk to him, he's gone. Okay? Smart move. Smart move. Brilliant move. So for all you asking, what were the Knicks' thoughts on firing Tom Thibodeau? They knew they had a game plan. We're going to fire Tibbs, and we're going to have our choice of coaches. We got a list. We like Ime. We like Jason. We like Quinn Snyder. We like Billy Donovan. Either we get them, or they're going to get more money. And if we don't get them, we still got Taylor Jenkins, Michael Malone, Mike Brown. We still got some guys to talk to. They're good. They're smart. They're very smart. Okay? With respect to Johnny Bryant, Ian Begley has already stated he's not a strong candidate because the Knicks need somebody, as I've been saying all along, all you knuckheads out here throwing out Jay Bryant, or Jay Wright, like you want some big name without any pro experience. Listen, this team is headed for the chip. The team that beat us in Indiana Pacers now forces a 7th game in Oklahoma City on Sunday. The Knicks were close to being them. Okay? Very close. So stop dissing on the Knicks. We don't need to make wholesale changes, and we damn sure don't need no trades. Some people use these phrases. We need a big win, or we need bench scoring, without actually analyzing what the Knicks actually need from performance standpoint. Okay? From a performance standpoint. Hey, case in point, Josh Hart. Did Tibbs make mistakes? Yes. But was Tibbs brilliant? Yes. Josh Hart. Josh Hart, before he came to the Knicks, he was drafted by the Lakers, traded to the Pelicans, traded again to Portland, and then he comes to the Knicks. 4 teams in his career. He started off with Luke Walton as his coach. Then he gets traded to New Orleans and gets Alvin Gentry as his coach. Then Alvin Gentry gets fired. He gets Stan Van Gundy as his coach. And then Stan Van Gundy gets fired and he gets Willie Green as his coach. Then he gets from New Orleans to Portland and he gets Chauncey Billups as his coach. And by the way, he had his best seasons under Chauncey Billups. And then he gets traded and he has Tom Thibodeau as his coach. He's had 6 coaches. Usually that is highly detrimental for any NBA player to have that many coaches. It is highly detrimental. It is hard for the player to get in a rhythm. It's hard for him to get a philosophy. It's hard for him to get his role in the league. What Tibbs did for Josh was give him a solid role of what he needed to be. Starting off, coming off the bench, which still looking at it statistically, we're going to talk about in a minute. Josh Hart is stronger coming off the bench in terms of this is the thing. Again, I just want to stress to y'all because some of y'all don't pay attention. I know this is the ADHD era and a lot of people can't pay attention, but listen, focus. It's about W's. At the end of the day, it's not about my favorite player getting 25 a game. It's about W's. And W's in the NBA, when you go to the point where Pacers and Oklahoma City are right now, W's are about getting stops. Period. It's not like I like to see Kevin Durant in a uniform. That's BS fantasy. No. Stops. W's. That's what you want. And again, over all that, long-term, sustainable winning. I've been saying that since Tibbs came here. Long-term, sustainable winning. I've been telling y'all the Don playing chess from when I don't want to start calling him the Don. Long-term, sustainable winning. That's what we're talking about. Guess what? Many people don't see it because they need glasses. The Knicks are there. They're there right now. We don't need to make no wholesale changes. We don't even need to tweak nothing. We just need to bring in a coach that knows how to handle the recipe he got. We need them to come in healthy. We need a coach that knows what the hell he's doing, preaches defense, preaches getting stops, which lead to W's. Case in point, Josh Hart. Tibbs made a mistake in overplaying Josh Hart. As you look at his stats, the more 40-minute games he has, the less effective he is. There is a thing called diminishing returns. What does that mean? That means in a business, you do certain things to maximize your return. But if you overdo it, you will go from maximizing your return to minimizing your return. Say, for example, you're selling apples. Just use a simple thing, apples. Let's say you sell your apples for $1 a pound, okay? And people love the apples you're getting. And they cleaning you out of apples. So you raise the price to $1.50 a pound. They still cleaning you out of apples. You raise the price to $2 a pound. They still cleaning you out of apples. You keep raising the price till they're like $5 a pound, right? And then you look at it and they may be not cleaning you out, but at $5 a pound, you're maximizing your profit. If you were to go to $6, they would not only not clean you out, you'd have leftover apples and you wouldn't make as much money. So that $5 a pound is the maximum price you could get for your apples. $6 a pound, you start losing money. So that's called diminishing returns. In the NBA, and what we're talking about right here, in terms of Josh Hart, we're talking about minutes. There's a minutes level that you're going to get a maximum effort out of Josh Hart. And then there's a minutes level on which if you go over that, you're going to get diminishing returns from Josh Hart. His performance, his effect on W's is going to diminish. Every player has this. Every single player. There's no player that you could just play 48 minutes and every time he plays 48 minutes, he's going to get you W's. because nobody goes 82-0. But there's a maximum way to handle players where you get the most out of an NBA player. And again, we're talking about the NBA, the league, where you have approximately 400 of the most talented basketball players on planet Earth. So these guys are really good. Just to be able to play in this league, they're good. They're really good. Okay, they're better than the average human being at playing basketball. They're better than most of the people. You're talking about players that come, you're talking about the total number of people that play competitive basketball. You're talking about high schools, right? Thousands of high schools, right? You're talking about colleges, D1, D2, D3, junior colleges. You're talking about Europe. You're talking about China. You're talking about South America. You're talking about Israel. See, you got thousands and thousands of people that play competitive basketball, but only 400 of them are good enough to play in the NBA. Okay? So you want to maximize your wins and your ability to win with the players you have. The Knicks are fortunate. We have 2 players in our starting lineup that are all NBA and all-star. That means all NBA means, it very simply means that year that you're named all NBA, you're one of the 15 best basketball players in the best league on planet Earth. That's what it means. That year. It doesn't mean you're going to be that way forever. But the year you're named all NBA, if you're first team all NBA, you're one of the 5 best players on planet Earth. If you're second team all NBA, you're one of the 10 best players on planet Earth. And if you're third team NBA, you're one of the 15 best players on planet Earth for that season. And then, of course, we know that there are guys like a LeBron James or Giannis Antetokounmpo that are all NBA on a regular basis, right? Jason Tatum. These guys are perennially the top 15 players on planet Earth. Most of the times, they're in the top 5 or 10. The Knicks have 2 players right now in Karl-Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson that are the top 15 players on planet Earth starting for their team. Any championship team has a big leg up with 2 guys like that. Okay? Then you need, because of the salary structure of the NBA, you can't just pile up. Many people have this impression that you could just get all NBA talent 1 through 12. You cannot. The salary structure is such that you cannot do that. It does not allow that to happen. It's hard to even keep a high-level team together because of the salary structure. Okay? So you want to get ancillary players that fit in around your horses, like your Brunsons and your Cat, that will not only enhance their games, but help add to long-term sustainable winning. Hence, Josh Hart. Josh Hart is not very hard to understand. He really isn't. He's a winning basketball player. He makes big plays. We have seen him do it many fourth quarters. So therefore we could consider him a playmaker at 6'4". We have seen him play the power forward, the small forward, the 2 guard. He's even set up the offensive line. Okay, and more like, so you could say even like a point guard. He makes plays. He plays multiple positions. He guards multiple positions. Sometimes better than other times, but he does. He guards on a consistent basis. He can guard 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s. So he's a Swiss Army knife type guy. A guy that will fit in on almost any team as long as you give him a specific role and you let him know this is your role. He will excel. Josh Hart, when in 23-24, when he is positive on the plus minus, in other words, when he's at least +1, the Knicks were 42-8. When he gets 12 or more rebounds in a game, the Knicks are 14-3. That was last year, 23-24. Okay? In 24-25, this past season, when he's positive, the Knicks are 41-3. When he gets 12 plus rebounds, the Knicks are 16-7. But 14-4 when he gets at least 10 defensive rebounds. This is a key. For Josh Hart, he just needs to be involved in the mix. He doesn't matter what position it is. But he does not need to play much more than 30 minutes a game. His career average is 30 minutes a game. This past season, he had 14 points a game and played 38 minutes a game. That's too much. He had his best years under Chauncey Billups. He averaged almost 20 a game under Chauncey Billups. And he had, he was positive on the plus minus when he's on the floor. And he was getting rebounds and doing all that stuff. But he played like 30 minutes a game. So the best move for Josh Hart is to come off the bench. You probably want him in the fourth quarter because he makes plays. Okay? You want him rebounding the ball on the defensive end. And this is where he fits very well with Mitchell Robinson. Because Mitchell Robinson puts so much pressure on the team that's trying to box him from getting the rebound, that allows a guy that's a really Charlie Hustle guy like Josh Hart to get defensive rebounds. And we see Josh Hart is a one-man fast break. He gets easy baskets many times, at least 2 or 3 times a game, off a defensive rebound. So you want that. So Josh Hart, in the end result, the analysis is he should come off the bench. You want him to play 30 minutes. You like him around at the end to make big plays because he makes big plays. Okay? He's in his prime right now. He's 29, 30, something like that. He's in his prime. The guy's always in shape. He don't come out of shape. He brings energy. That's another very important variable that cannot be measured in terms of statistics. Energy. He brings energy. And when he brings the energy, he uplifts the team. Again, when he's plus, this year, 41-3. When he's plus last year, 42-8. So that's an indication of a player that is a very strong influence on W's. What's the use? Some people talk about Larry marketing. He puts up big numbers, but his teams always suck. Why? There are players that are very talented, that can score the basketball in the NBA, rebound the basketball. But there's a difference in a player that can do those things at a high level and a player that does those things at a high level that causes their whole team to go up a notch. Larry Bird is the supreme guy, in my view, in the years that I've watched the game, in that Larry Bird causes the whole team to look better. Just from everything he did on the floor, the rebounding, the shooting, the passing, the defense. He did all of those things at such a high level that he would cause the whole ship to rise. Versus, say, pre-Tibbs, Julius Randle. Julius Randle would always put up nice numbers. When he was in LA, when he was in New Orleans, he put up nice numbers. But his teams sucked. Because he could put up big numbers, but they did not uplift the whole ship. Josh Hart does. When Josh Hart plays Josh Hart's game, which is defensive rebounding, which is hustle, which is energy, which is diving on the floor for balls, it uplifts the whole team. Guys like that are very valuable in the NBA. Very valuable, okay? And so, again, you're always going to have some idiots out here that need to have, it's like somebody with some fantasy thing that needs to have a move made just because they want a move made and they talk about trading people. No. You don't trade winning pieces. Listen, you do not trade winning pieces, especially when those winning pieces are in their prime. You don't do that. That's a dumb move. And let me tell you something. The Don ain't dumb. So, whoever the incoming coach is, I would expect Josh Hart to come off the bench. Which means you're going to either start Mitchell Robinson or Deuce McBride. Both of those are winning players. And they play well in the starting lineup, especially when they know that's their role. Okay? Josh Hart coming off the bench is going to win a lot of games for the Knicks. He's been doing it. It's not like, this is not a theory. This is already proven. Like, he's already done it. 42 and 8. 42 and 8 when he's positive in 23-24. 41-3 when he's positive in 24-25. That's a winning player. Okay? That's a winning player. That's already proven. We just want to maximize him and not get diminishing returns. I believe that's going to happen. You see, with a 10-man rotation, Josh Hart's going to be at his maximum effectiveness. 10-man rotation. And come fourth quarter, when you need a big play, he'll be fresh and ready to go. And of course, we know about him and Jalen Brunson, and Mikal Bridges, and Dante DiVincenzo, all them Villanova boys, tough as hell. Gets bowled in the shoulder, hit in the face, knocked in the eye, blood's gushing out. He's still there. He's still there. Okay? He's going to still be there. Winning player. Tough as nails. High IQ. Knows how to play the game the right way. And most of all, positively affects winning. Josh Hart. So it doesn't matter in that sense whether it's Mike Brown or Taylor Jenkins. And of course, I already made it known I would like Taylor Jenkins in this scenario. But even if it's Mike Brown, whichever one, they're going to have Josh coming off the bench. Either with Mitchell Robinson or Precious Achiuwa maybe. And Deuce McBride maybe. And hopefully Landry Shamet, DeLon Wright. You know, maybe Ariel Huporty, maybe Marjon Beaucamp. The Knicks got enough talent. We just need to get it ready. Get this car tuned up. Get this Bentley tuned up. Get it ready for training camp and have it revving. And they'll be ready to roll. You'll enjoy your weekend. Sure.